Welcome to the Trial Tracker tutorial. I'm Lantz Cornett, Digital Enablement Lead for Bayer. So we're going to assume today that you've already got your seed in the ground, and we're going to look at the next steps that we can use on how to use FieldView as a scouting tool in the summertime. So taking a look at the screen here, you can kind of see we've got a Prescient script that's got multiple different population densities. On the left, you see we've got one population planted less than 33,000. On the right-hand side, you see when we're kind of in that mid-range of that 36,000, and then you've got some variable rate scripting as we go north to south. And you can see that based off the legend on the right-hand side. So what we want to do here, just so that we can kind of keep track throughout the season, is to draw our own field region report over one of these trial blocks. To do that, we're going to pick this circle that's kind of shaded in, and we're going to go to rectangle, and we're going to draw it over the less densely populated area of the trial. And from there, we're going to just kind of drag it and get it into the spot that we want, hit done, and then hit save. And from there, we will name it. We're just going to call this one trial. So from here, we're going to be able to look at multiple days worth of field health imagery to kind of monitor this field throughout the season. Since this field was planted in 2023, the field health imagery is already loaded in. But as you go through the season for 2025, you'll get these images every 5 to 10 days based off the weather and how often we can get quality images. This is a weather-dependent ability, so if it's a cloudy day, whenever the satellites do go over to take the pictures, you may not get that picture for that day and you'll have to wait till the next time. And we'll show kind of what that looks like here in a little bit. So let's go to our field health imageries for 2025. And you can do that by going to population, back to maps, going to in season, and at the in season portion, you'll see the field health imagery. We're going to look at a few key ones from 2023 that allow us to kind of see how did that population trial play out throughout the season. And I think where it becomes most available and obvious as it starts to begin is on June 14th. So if we tap on the June 14th one, you can already kind of start to see where this trial is starting to show its impacts. And one thing I want to call out, red is not always necessarily bad. Dark green is not always necessarily good. All that dictates is a density of vegetation across a bell curve. So the more densely populated green areas are going to be darker green, and that could be weeds or that could be your crop. It is all dependent upon what this shows through the satellite imagery. So occasionally you're going to see some things. I think it's important to show on July 22nd. You're going to see this image pop up, and we're going to be missing the northern half of this field. Anybody care to guess why? That's right. It's because there's a cloud in the way. If we were going to look at this cloud, we can look at these at the bottom left corner. There's a cloud icon, and you can see there's an overlay of the cloud itself, preventing that image from being totally encapsulated. So that's always a good way to ground truth where the image is coming from and what we're really seeing from the image. One other thing to probably call out for this is that a shadow can also be casted from a cloud, and that will also influence what the differentiation is within the field. So a shadowy portion of the field will come across as a lot darker red than what it probably should be. And you can always go to this true color image by clicking on the cloud icon to get to that picture. So looking back throughout field health imagery, and we go back to July 7th. Here you can see within the trial block area that it's a darker, or it's a less shaded darker green. It's more of a lighter green, maybe even a yellow. This is already showing us that this population is showing differently than what it should be across the rest of the field. You'll see there about the 2/3 of the way down, there's a red line across the field. That's a drainage ditch. So there's not going to be much variation there as far as plants go, but it will show dark red because it's not as densely populated from a vegetation perspective as what it is across the rest of the field. So red doesn't always mean bad. Red just means there's a variation there of plant density. And as we go through the rest of the scouting season, if you go to August 16th, I think it gets even more exaggerated. Right where you see the trial block, it's less vegetation. It's really starting to show this is a lower population, a lower performing zone within the field. And you can even go all the way through the harvest time to really see it start to devolve. And that's how easy it is to create a field region report. Stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about scouting.